what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
All of us need to be reminded that the federal government did not create the states. The states created the federal government.
It is no surprise, once you're aware of what's going on, how it all occurred. The international bankers have hijacked our government, and the industrialists at the highest levels. General Electric is absolutely in bed with our government for 80 years. Since the Federal Reserve has been founded, and the Council on Foreign Relations soon after, and the International Affairs Bureau in England, and on through the failure of the League of Nations to the success of the United Nations, and this slow push to world government. The EU being founded it's supposed to have been a few years old, but then celebrated its 50th anniversary. You know, we're already in the North American Union. It's just not been solidified to the point that was intended. The globalists are behind on their agenda, but they are quickly moving forward by destroying our currencies and the dollar devaluation, by destroying our economy, by the deindustrialization of manufacturing and corporate welfare. You know, with all the problems in our country, if you were to stop paying all the welfare queens and all the people that drag on the social programs, it doesn't even make a speck in the situation, the debt situation that we're in this country. So that rhetoric, and that is exactly what it is, you know, that you tax the rich or take away social programs, is exactly the divisive tactics of the Bilderberg Group and others that control both political parties, and mainstream media is absolutely controlled by these people. General Electric owns NBC. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Okay? Here are 10 examples that we no longer live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. I think this is a very good breakdown given by the American Dream website. I think it's awesome. I think it's a pretty good understanding, and there are probably 100 examples, or 1,000. But here are 10. According to the ACLU, state police in Michigan are using extraction devices to download data from cell phones of motorists that they pull over. This is taking place even if those pulled over are not accused of doing anything wrong. In the state of New York, the Department of Health has designated wiffle ball, dodgeball, kickball, freeze tag, red rover, frisbee tossing, and tug of war as risky recreational activities. Any organization or program that allows kids to enjoy these games during the summer will now be subject to strict governmental regulation, according to the New York Daily News. Why don't you just have the kids sign a waiver in case they get hurt so the city doesn't get sued? It's silly. At one public school in the Chicago area, number 3, children have been banned from bringing their lunches from home. Yes, you read that. Yeah, that's unbelievable. I can't believe you can't bring your own lunch to school. Your parents don't know better than the school. The state has to provide. I mean, this is all social conditioning. This is how they do it, little by little. These little tiny things. At one as I said, the children have been banned from bringing their lunches. Students at that particular school are absolutely prohibited from bringing lunches from home. Instead, it is mandatory that they eat the food the school cafeteria serves. So they got to buy the food. Would you like to have your face scanned and your ID recorded every time you attend a public event? Don't laugh, that's number 4. The San Francisco Entertainment Commission is actually proposing a new rule which will require all venues with an occupancy of more than 100 people to record the faces of all patrons and employees and scan their IDs for storage in a database which they must hand over to law enforcement on request. Big Brother is not only here, he's in operation, okay? And he's watching. It's just, I can't, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I live in a free country. We don't live in a free country. Everyone thinks that we live in a free country. But it's really not free. And what they're planning on doing is hoarding us and putting us together, putting us in FEMA camps and putting out directives, national directives that need to be delivered by April 29th, 2011 for the operations of how to detain people in FEMA camps. Google it. I'm not making this stuff up. Number 5, in Delaware, that should be number 5. Number 5, in Delaware, police and state officials recently tore a basketball hoop right out of a family's front yard and carted it away because it was too close to the street. I mean, it's just getting out of control, these getting in our personal space, in our personal property, in our personal areas. They even extracted the pole for the basketball hoop and took that away. Number 6, in Missouri, of all places, 2 young girls named Abigail and Caitlin Mills were recently taught a lesson on how to be good citizens in the emerging totalitarian control grid going up all over the United States. After a complaint from a neighbor, the city of Hazelwood cracked down on the 2 girls and told them that they must stop selling Girl Scout cookies in their front yard. Number 7, as I've written previously, federal bureaucrats have outlawed the incandescent light bulbs that we all grew up with. That's right, they outlawed the light bulbs. They want to put in these cancerous GE-made, mercury-filled light bulbs that emit way more dirty electricity than the standard bulb. Google that. Anyway, the CFL compact fluorescent lamp light bulbs that are more expensive and actually worse for the environment. And one study conducted by scientists in Germany has shown that the new CFL light bulbs that we are being forced to use contain poisonous carcinogens, as I mentioned. In fact, the German scientists say that these CFL bulbs should be kept as far away from as possible from the human environment. But they want to put it on us. They want to. It is all a collectivist, eugenist effort to depopulate the earth slowly. A slow kill process between the food that's controlled by Monsanto, between the electricity controlled by GE and these products that are going to be radiating us, the naked body scanners at the airports, the X-ray vans that have going out in the cities to look through the walls. I mean, this is real. Can't you all please see, or just have the open-mindedness to take a look like I did? I didn't know about this stuff. I wasn't aware of all this. I thought I lived in a free country. I didn't realize what they're doing to us. I went along with half of the tyranny, thinking it's good for security. Anyone who gives up liberty for security deserves and shall receive neither. Benjamin Franklin. It's absolutely true. We are going into a police state. That could be a tank pulling up to my house, break down the door, say, you can't say this anymore. You can't talk about these things. You can't tell people that. I went on the radio in Torrington and I was talking about Monsanto evil. The station manager came running in and says, you can't talk about these things on the radio. I'm talking about autism and multiple sclerosis rates. Yet they had a commercial, literally a commercial, for Autism Speaks. And that's what brought me talking about that aspect of it. It's on the record. October 2010. WAPJ Radio, Torrington, Connecticut. Number 9. Number 8. Many states are aggressively seizing unclaimed safe deposit boxes and selling off the contents and using the money to pay state government bills. In the state of California, they're going after safe deposit boxes if the owners have no contract with the bank for just 3 years. Other states have been nearly as aggressive. If you have a safe deposit box and you've not opened it in a while, you need to go check on it right away. And they're just going crazy. They're going wild. They are just doing whatever they can, and you think it's all because they need to make money for the budget, but it's stolen. All the money that the IRS collects pays interest to these criminal bankers from 1913, basically. It has been a fraud since the Social Security Act was enacted in 1934, using us, the people, we the people, as collateral for debt to the Federal Reserve. This is what's really happened. How do you feel being collateral? How does that make you feel? Number 9. One Mississippi judge recently issued an order to state officials to gather and deliver to him the names of every single child that is being homeschooled in the state. fascism. The frightening thing is that this judge did this all on his own. Nobody even requested this information, and there was no case pending for which this would have been required. Scary. The TSA had promised, number 10, the TSA had promised that they were going to stop groping little children at airports, but apparently that is not the case. For example, the 6-year-old girl made headlines recently when a TSA worker touched her all over private areas before allowing her to get on an airplane. They also drug tested her. It's insane. Her parents were forced to stand aside and watch this outrage take place. So what do you think about this list? Does anyone out there still believe that we live in the land of the free and the home of the brave? I can give many examples more. I could speak for hours about the tyranny. The Patriot Act has allowed all of this to occur faster, at a more accelerated pace. Now with warrantless wiretappings, all the Bush crimes, Obama's just continuing. Obama, Bush, Clinton, they're all complicit in this conspiracy. And you can look at this and say this is insane. It does. You're reading into it. You know, you're paranoid. See, you can't be paranoid unless it's an irrational fear. Paranoia is based on irrational fear. Things that you should not be concerned about, not be worried about, or have any danger, or that can cause any danger or present any danger to you. I've had friends tell me to stop doing this because they perceive there to be danger telling people what to do. Going to the town halls, going to the meetings, you know, writing letters to congressmen, writing letters, you know, to the government, telling them that I know that the CIA, you know, is complicit in 9/11. The CIA was complicit in Osama bin Laden. Is Tim Osman. You know, it was a whole front, the whole thing, the whole war on terror. Look how it works. Prohibition, after Prohibition, all of these cops that they had on the payroll, and all of these bureaucratic organizations they put together to fight Prohibition, shifted. I mean, you could have went out and bought all the drugs you wanted during Prohibition. It's totally legal. Prohibition ends, everyone starts drinking, well, we got to put in all the drug laws. And then they made drugs illegal. Okay, now whether you believe in drinking or drugs or that they're both evil, they probably are. Okay? But the point is, they put the bureaucracy in place and had to continue it. So then what did we have? Wars. Police actions, conflicts, Korean conflict, the Vietnam conflict, all the other military actions, Grenada, all these other things, Iran, Contra, putting gun running to the Contras, Ali North selling drugs. I mean, the CIA has been doing this for a long time. So you can't trust the government. They're not out to do what a patriotic American expects of them to do. They are complicit in the Bilderberg world government agenda to unify the United States, Mexico, and Canada under the North American Union, to destroy the currency, to offshore basically most of our skilled labor, and dumb down our population. I'm not making this up. This isn't my opinion. These are the words of these are from great works. People have written books about this. Anthony Sutton, I've read books. G. Edward Griffin. There's a lot of substance to this. A tremendous amount of proof that this exists. It is a tremendous conspiracy, and we all must be aware of it and start looking into it. I didn't know about it. I had no idea. But now I do. And I feel as an American, a patriotic American, that I have a responsibility to save my country. And that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting for my country. Because believe it or not, we are at war with forces that would take away our liberties in the name of security and lead us down the road to despotism and total tyranny.